What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Redonkulous Gaming channel. You've got Redonk, and today we are talking new release Infernium for Nintendo Switch, out today. But before we get too far into today's video, be sure to take a moment, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter at Redonk Gaming, like us on Facebook, most of all, visit us at www.redonkulousgaming.com. Throughout literature, you will find many references to hell with some of the most vivid descriptions of fires and screams of tortured souls. There are several artistic representations of hell, with more recent depiction of Dante's Inferno represented in Dan Brown's 2016 movie adaptation of the book Inferno. If you're unfamiliar with these written works, they revolve around Dante's journey through hell, specifically the 9 circles of hell. Each circle represents a different perspective or vice, such as limbo, lust, gluttony, or even violence. The underlying theme is that hell is a scary place where there is no beauty, only sadness and despair. But what if hell was in fact a beautiful place? And what if the most evil and dangerous places were in fact the most beautiful? Infernium gives the player this unique perspective on hell. So without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay. Infernium is a non-linear, first-person survival horror game that will keep you on edge at every moment. You play as a wanderer, and your goal is to navigate an interconnected portrait of hell. However, this version of hell is not what you may have imagined. Infernium's hell consists of beautiful landscapes and structures. Around every corner, the potential for danger exists. The key differentiation in Infernium's hell is that danger is in plain sight. Rarely will evil jump out and attack you like in most horror games. Instead, the evil will present you with a challenge in which you need to have a strategy behind all of your movements. The game is not combat-based, so I have to emphasize that. So most of the evil forces cannot be defeated in combat. Instead, you must navigate your way through 17 unique levels to free yourself from the evil around you. You're given 2 unique abilities at the start of the game. Dash, which acts as more of a teleportation, and the ability to absorb or siphon light. Evil forces and traps will block your passage as you look to move between these distinct levels. These forces will vary in type and abilities, which will make for a greater challenge the longer you manage to stay alive. Be prepared to be chased and make use of all of your abilities. A total of 6 abilities can be learned throughout the exploration of the game, and all will need to be mastered in order to make your way out of Infernium. The game features a persistent world. This means that any changes that you make to the world will remain permanent. If you open a door that was previously closed, then it will stay open even after death. The same holds true for light that you siphon, which is your life force and source of your powers. If you siphon light during one playthrough, it will not be there for you on your next playthrough. Death is actually a very big part of life. You will not possess a health pool, so death is imminent, but you must learn from each death and develop a strategy to overcome any traps or enemies that you may encounter. Running from enemies will render ineffective unless you put a strategy behind how and why you are moving in any given direction. If you beat the challenges set before you, then you will be rewarded with new skills and unlock new areas. You may even open up hidden shortcuts that may be used by yourself or your enemies. Each playthrough is unique and anxiety-ridden as you work to make quick decisions while maintaining tact and efficiency. With Infernium, the most dangerous areas are also the most beautiful, which is why you will likely never relax while playing this game. This game features single-player, first-person shooter, limited skills and abilities, and non-combat-oriented linear level design. Again, it features a persistent world, so any changes that you make persist through death. And it also comes along with a new Game Plus mode, which actually changes out the enemies that you face so that you don't get used to the same repetitious gameplay each individual playthrough. It also features multiple endings, which means you'll have more than one reason to go ahead and play this game multiple times. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of the review. For a non-combat game, Infernium delivers on several fronts. The controls are relatively seamless, with your core abilities tied to your R button to siphon light and ZR button to perform teleport or dash. While the game may keep you on the edge of your seat, it is not a game with very quick progression. The faster you go, the more prone you're going to be in making mistakes, which will result mostly in frustration and pile up the amount of deaths. Now, to re-highlight some of the pros of this game, it features non-linear level design, which is absolutely fantastic. You never have to go the same way twice, so you can learn from previous experience and then go ahead and make changes the second time around and even go a different route entirely. It features a persistent world, so the changes you make to the world persist through death. The new Game Plus mode, which allows for different enemies with new abilities, which is going to inevitably result in new experiences, and it features roughly 14 hours of core gameplay. Couple of cons for this game. It's non-combat oriented, so it makes you feel incredibly vulnerable, and that all ties to the genre of this game. So if you're trying to sign up for a combat-oriented game, this is not going to be the game for you. It has longer periods of inaction, and by that I mean you may not encounter enemies for longer periods of time, so you may have less to do. This is actually a good thing, because otherwise you would just be running the whole time with very little time to plan your way forward. And then lastly, the last con is that this game is going to result in an inexplicable fear of towels. No matter what, you will be afraid of your bath towel after you play this game. So overall, Infernium is an enjoyable game that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Infernium's depiction of hell is hauntingly beautiful, as you're doomed to wander in a purgatory, afraid to turn around any corner. Therefore, Redonkulous Gaming gives Infernium a score of 7.7 for its unique take on the genre. For your convenience, I went ahead and inserted the links to buy the game on the Nintendo eShop Steam store, or if you wanted to follow the developer on Twitter, all of those links can be found in the description below. I want to take a moment to go ahead and remind you to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Go ahead and toss us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Redonk Gaming, and visit us at www.redonkulousgaming.com.